All right, I'm gonna wait till somebody come on here. So I wanted my wife to do this with me, and today is my anniversary, and I'm excited. My wife is amazing, and I'm sitting here pondering on what what has sustained me and my wife over the years. What has sustained us over the years, and I want to share a couple of things that I think would help someone understand um, relationship rules and understanding how to have a sustainable relationship over years, that you understand each other in a way that you were meant to understand. And so I'm not going to go totally deep and all that stuff, but um, I'm excited. It's my anniversary. God has been good. He's been faithful. Um, I'm waiting for my wife. I'm trying to see if she's going to come. I want her to talk too. But I'm going to give a couple of things I want everyone to understand when it comes to a sustainable relationship. So I'm going to call this Relationship Rules 101. All right? Relationship Rules 101. Now, number one, I want you to understand when it comes to a sustainable relationship with anyone, um, men, men are only as committed to you as they are committed to God. Okay? Men are only as committed to you. You can listen to whatever relationship experts and all that stuff that people say. It's not true. Men are only as committed to you as they've learned to be committed to God. This is why when you are not committed to God, you have a superficial reality or a reasoning for relationship. Okay, when you're not committed to the God principle, you have a superficial reality that you live from. So you look at your relationship from a superficial place. Okay, and there in a superficial place, there's codependencies that's not healthy for sustainability in a relationship. From a superficial place, there are codependencies that are not healthy, where there's not true commitment. Okay, so you never want to submit in a relationship or marry, or if you are married, we'll have to talk about that. But if you are not married, never commit from a superficial place in relationships. Never commit to that. This is why you're looking at it from the wrong lens. And so where you look at relationship from the wrong lens, the codependency on each other. This is why when people come married, the first thing I notice is when you come to the altar and you say that someone is your life, or someone is the reason why you're happy, this, that, and other. Although there's a component of that that's true, the first thing that has to make you happy is you. You got to be happy in yourself from God. You got to know yourself in God. And so if you don't know yourself in God, number one, you are going to live from a superficial place in a relational context. Okay, the majority of what we're dealing with, especially when it comes to single, if you're single, listen, you want to hear what I'm telling you, because this is going to help you. It's going to save you from divorce. It's going to save you from meeting the wrong people, because I'm going to help you understand what you need to look for sustainability in relationship. Superficial relationships only go so far. But if you want to know the principles that govern sustainable relationships, you have to realize what govern sustainable relationships. So, number one, I want you to understand that a man that doesn't pray is a man that will never stay. Don't hear me religiously. A man that does not pray is a man that won't stay. And staying doesn't mean physically, okay? A man that doesn't pray is a man that won't stay. And what I mean by staying, it doesn't mean physically. A man can be there physically, but not there emotionally. A man can be there physically, but he's not there mentally, because a man that doesn't pray is a man that doesn't stay. This is why majority of men today are emotionally decapacitated. We're emotionally decapacitated. We have emotional issues because we have father issues. We have emotional issues because we have leadership issues. When a man has leadership issues and he have father issues, or he have when those issues arise, by default there are emotional issues. So um, if you don't discern someone who has an emotional defect, uh, what's going on there is they build themselves in pride. So you build walls and you build pride. And so when a person is not emotionally confined in God, okay, what did I say? A man that doesn't pray is a man that doesn't stay. So prayer allows God to deal with that emotional side of him. Come on, we're talking about how to have a sustainable relationship, how to have a sustainable marriage, how to, if you're single, who you going to, how to look for the right person. Because the list that we have, a lot of time that list has nothing to do with what God said. We got all kind of lists. We have all kind of lists. If you want a sustainable relationship, you better know what you're looking for. Because if your list is superficial only, now, there are things, of course, that you want in a man and want in a woman, all right? But you have to realize that without the God particle in what you're looking for, without the God particle in what you're looking for, you are going to misalign yourself with the wrong person, or you're going to misalign yourself with a person who has not matured to a place where they can handle the wows that come with marriage, that comes with relationships. Okay. And so a man that doesn't pray is a man that won't stay. A man that don't pray is a man that don't stay. He won't stay emotionally. He won't stay mentally. And a lot of times he's not he's not discerning where you are. He's not discerning what's needed in the relationship, because he's living from a superficial place of marriage, an obligationary place of marriage. And so there's a place where we have to realize that in marriage need a God component, and you got to be led in marriage. And so let's go deeper. So number one, you got to realize that a man is only committed to you on the basis of his commitment to God. All right. He's only committed to you from the basis of his commitment to God. All right. So stop thinking that men just going to be faithful with you because they love you. It's a lie. Uh-oh. He loved me, so he won't cheat on me. A man can love you and cheat on you. A man can love you and cheat on you, because the cheating wasn't about love. The cheating was about submission. A man can, okay, a man can love you, or now, hold on. A man can be with you. Let me say it that way, because I got to explain what love is first. A man see, because when I say love, a man, somebody will say I love you, but they'll do something that shows that there's types of love. Number one, okay, the type of love that I'm talking about that a man needs, that's not the love that I'm talking about. That when men say I love you, but they do the wrong thing. There are many types of love, and so unless we understand the love that we need, we're going to misinterpret what's needed for the relationship. So a man that's not committed and submitted to God, they can love you from a type of love, but when you're not around, there's no conviction that holds him accountable to his decisions. When you're not around, or when pressures come, or when trouble come, there aren't any principles that govern him to hold him. So you have to realize that um, the God particle in a man is greater than the relationship factors of superficial factors that we look from. Okay. See, the problem is many people are wasting time. I'm gonna tell you something. Many people are wasting time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, CJ. Many people are wasting time. They're wasting time. They're wasting time in relationships that's not functional, that's not going to work. If you're married, this is different. That's a different conversation. But if you are looking for marriage, you got to understand what you're looking for. So, number one, a man is only as committed as he committed to God. And when he commits to God in the way he's supposed to, you're going to see who God is come out of him. So many people say I'm committed to God, but what's coming out of him is not godly. So he's not really committed in the areas that he needs to be committed to. So if you want a sustainable relationship, you got to make sure that that man is committed in the areas of God that he's called to be committed to. And what comes out of him is the God life, the God living. And in the God living, um, the God lifestyle, he will be emotionally, mentally prepared to, and physically prepared to take you where you need to go in God. So um, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm just, I'm sitting here being thanking God for his faithfulness of allowing us the years of marriage. Because today it seems like marriage is attacked, relationships are attacked, and it seems quite difficult to hold commitment in a union. But it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. And so I want to encourage anyone out there who desire to be married, don't give up. Don't give up. Allow God to train you, teach you, prepare you, so that when you come into alignment with Him, you're going to discern what's for you. Okay? But marriage starts with God. And a man that doesn't pray is a man that would not stay. I want you to stick with that today. A man that doesn't pray is a man that won't stay, because prayer is what trains him how to live and be a foundation to the home. Okay? That way, he's not only just paying the bills or helping with the bills, or he's not just leading from a superficial place, but he's leading from a principal place in God. Okay? You don't need a man that lives from a superficial place, because a man can be a dangerous man who lives from a superficial place. All right? He means well, but he don't do well. All men mean well. Get out of that. He's a good man. He want to do right. Everybody want to do right. I don't think nobody wakes up unless you that demonized. I don't think nobody wakes up who doesn't want to do right. So men mean well. That doesn't mean they know how to do well. So until we get the knowing of how to do well, um, we won't do it. You won't do it. I'm saying that to say good men doesn't, just because someone is good doesn't mean they understand the principles that govern marriage. So um, it's interesting because I look at all these people who look at all of these so-called experts online today, and a lot of these so-called experts don't have don't understand. They're speaking from a superficial place, okay, and so you have to realize that everything that you want to be sustained in is rooted in the particle and the principles of God. All right. And when you allow God to do what He's doing in you, you'll have the sight to see, you'll have the ear to hear, and to know what's for you. So let me get off of here. because I'm wanting to go deep, but I'm not going to do that today. And so I hope this bless someone. But remember, a man that doesn't pray is a man that don't stay, because his emotions, um, you got to allow God to deal with you. He must go through the dealings of God. And if he can go through the dealings of God, he has sustainability. He has wisdom. He has knowledge. He has the counsel of God, the spirit of counsel. The spirit of counsel will be activated in him, which means if the when the wife or women is acting crazy, he's going to have the spirit of counsel, how to deal with that. I know I'm talking from a man place right now. I'm picking on men today. Yeah, I am. I'm picking on men today. I'm not talking about the women, because my wife is not here. So I'm talking about the men today. But when a man has the spirit of counsel, he will understand how to help and walk that relationship through with wisdom. Okay, he will understand when he has a prayer life, when he has a consistency in God, when his first priority even before you is God. Let that man have his first priority be God, because if his priority is God, guess what? You become first in everything. You become first when his life is God. You become first. See, my wife is first because God is my life. God is not first. He's not in the number. God is not first in my life. He's my life. Because God is my life, my wife can be first. All right. Love your wife as Christ loved the church. The church is his first. I hope somebody hear me out there. So I want you to understand that a man that does not desire God, if you listen to me, a man that does not desire God, just wait. Don't rush it. Just wait. Don't allow yourself to jump in too fast. You got to wait, because without a desire towards God, you're looking at a man that doesn't know himself totally yet. Okay? And you're going to fall in the trap where you got to now be the stronger one spiritually that governs the solical architecture of life. So many people are jumping into things and they have to now be the stronger one in the relationship because they didn't wait on God to do what he had to do. Men have to get emotionally enabled in God before they can be emotionally attached with you. I'm going to say that again. Men have to be emotionally touched by God before they can be emotionally caring to you. Most things I hear from women is that he don't love me. It's not true. He just loves differently. But the reason why you're not feeling that love, because he's not in love, he's not tapping into the love of God. When a man can tap into the love of God, by default, that love will pour out and touch you. But if he's trying to love you without touching God, the love becomes superficial. So now he's doing things to make it seem to make you like what he's doing, but it's not really touching you because you feel like he's not there. I've heard women say, "Hey, I don't feel like my husband loved me," and he like, "What in the world are you talking about, girl? I done bought you this, I done did this, I done did that," because when he's emotionally disabled, when he's emotionally unstable, you can feel that. You're one flesh if you're married. And if you're not married, let that man get processed first. See, I'm not one of those say the man is a dog, and no, you don't have, listen. Men mean well. Don't. Men do mean well. That doesn't mean a man that's struggling, the man that's addicted, a man that's going through. It doesn't mean that he's a bad man. We live in the world full of corruption. We were corrupt. That's why we needed the grace of God. So that's not where we at. That's not where we at. Some of these people out here, that's not where we at. However, allow that man to be processed. A man that's not processed and not principled is predictable. What did I say? What did I say? A man that's not processed and not principled is predictable. So many people get in relationships, and I'll check the process and I'll check the principles. And when something happened, it was predictable because he wasn't processed and he wasn't principled. So you got to allow God to allow him to be processed and principled before you go into commitment. Allow him to be processed and allow him to be principled before you go into commitment. I'm sitting here thanking God because it's my anniversary, but I'm sitting here saying thank you. But I'm looking at my process and I'm looking at the principles that I've lived by and what kept me in my marriage. It's not because I just love my wife. I had to love God first. And through loving God, I allowed him to process me and to make me principled. And it keeps me to see my wife, which means a man doesn't just even pray for heaven. He prays so he can see his family right every day. He prays so he can see his wife right every day. He prays so he can see his purpose right every day. You got to realize this thing is bigger than just some superficial, lovey-dovey uh, thing. See, I'm going too far already. I just wanted to come on here and encourage somebody. So, what are you looking for? If you're not married yet, what are you looking for? You got to know through the lens, what are you looking for? All right. If you're in a relationship with someone and you desiring marriage, but you don't see these principles, and you see that he's going through the process, don't rush the process. Let God. You can provoke the process, but you can't make the process. All right. And you know what? I'm going to have to come back and do a whole teaching on this. Okay. Because I feel like there's so much that people are confused about when it comes to relationships. And I want to help people understand God's agenda, God's ideal of relationships. So I'm excited. I'm not going to hold too long. I'm excited. I'm going to spend time with my wife when she get out of her meetings, and I got some stuff to do too. But I wanted just to come and let you know, a man that does not pray is not processed enough to prove himself in the marriage. If Since I said all this, if you are married, I ain't gonna leave you out there. If you are married, I'm not gonna leave you out there because I done said a lot. If you are married and he's not processed, the Bible says that you can provoke him, which means now you gotta allow God to allow you to go through your process so you can be principled in your responses so he can see God. I know I'm not popular when I say stuff like this. You got to allow God to take you through the process so you can be printable so he can see God. Um, there's a lot more to that too. So don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because a lot of times people are dropping out of marriages, but it's not. Listen to me. I'm not a component of divorce at all. However, I want is divorce. The Bible talks about the possibilities of divorce. However, before anybody divorce, you got to. My question is, did you try it the way God told you to try it? And if you can do it the way God told you to try it, then that's a different conversation than you not doing what God said and you trying to jump out. But don't go into condemnation about this. The whole goal is, are you allowing God to process you? We live for the glory of God. We do things out of the glory of God. And God sometimes is trying to bring us through the corridors of counsel in us so we can manifest what he's called us to be and become. And in a marriage, marriage is a God thing. Marriage is not a world thing. Hashtag that. Marriage is a God thing. It's not a world. It don't work in the world perspective. It don't work in a superficial way. This is why it's not in a superficial way. It doesn't work. God, marriage is a God thing. This is why the soul will not allow, the flesh will not allow you to have a honest relationship from that place. It won't. Your flesh is too weak for that. So marriage is a God thing. Marriage is a God component. Okay. And so your submission to him will equate to your sustainability with him. Your submission to him will equate to your sustainability with them. Your submission to him will equate to your sustainability with him. Okay. So um ah, God is good. So I am celebrating my ninth year of marriage, and it has been amazing. It's been good. It's there. There's been challenges. Every marriage comes with challenges. All marriages is going to come with challenges. Know that. But it's what the principles that you have, the tools that you have to deal with the challenges. Challenges will come, but do you have the right tools to deal with the challenges that come? I'm gonna say that again. Challenges will come, but do you have the right tools to deal with the challenges that come? So when I say a man that doesn't pray won't stay, is saying God bring you through the processes to get the tools to handle the challenges. Listen, let me tell you something. Just because you argue and you have disagreements, a lot of those things does not qualify that a person is bad. It doesn't even qualify that a person is not for you. It's just that you're looking at the facts of the issue. Everybody have their facts, but it's only when you hit the God particle that you come into the truth about someone. So the problem is we're not holding on to the truth long enough to be processed within ourselves so we can pour out the truth on someone else. See, when you have the truth about yourself, you're not so quick to respond wrong. All right? When you have the truth about yourself, you're not so quick to respond wrong. And watch this, the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, patience. So you have patience to allow people to say the wrong thing too. You have patience on the spouse to say the wrong thing at a certain time. So you give them you have patience. You allow them to say what's the wrong thing. But if you keep speaking the truth, sooner or later, now you're going to learn how to live from the truth, both of you, because now you bring that person to face the truth, not the facts. Can you bring your spouse to face the truth? Or are you still arguing in facts? I hope somebody's hearing me. Can you bring your spouse to face the truth? Listen to me, saints. The problem is you're not holding long enough. I'm I'm still teaching on how to have a sustainable relationship. Can you bring them to face the truth? Because the problem is when two people are feeling like they're the problem is somebody's not standing in the truth. Because if I feel you the problem and you feel I'm the problem, if we break right now, nobody won. And God can't be glorified because nobody stood in the truth. But if you stand in the truth and you're not, and your attitude reflects the truth, your temperament reflects the truth, and how you communicate it reflects the truth, it allows that person to have to face themselves. So, can you hold to the truth in God? Let God process you. And when you allow God to process you, what's coming out of you will push somebody to themselves. I will help you see yourself. And that sometimes you got to be tested for authenticity, which means they're going to try to trigger you, but it's only a test. It's only a test. Listen, you got to be tested for authenticity. Faith got to be tested for authenticity. know about you, but I don't, the divorce rate, the rate of the way relationships are going today, it's not good. And it's not good because we're living from a superficial, we've adopted the principles of the world to govern our marriages. Isn't it a lie? The things that we're projecting and we're saying and we're doing, we're not even happy anymore because we're so far seeking things from this world. We're being governed by the world, and God is saying, hey, this is not a world thing at all. Come on, listen to me. It's not a world thing. Don't get out of the superficiality of marriage and relationships. If you're single, don't seek superficial things. Seek and allow yourself to submit to God in this thing, because you're sustained by the God vision, by the God particle, by the God thing. So, all right, for the third time, I'm done. You know what? I'm going to do more on relationships. I think this is vital during this time. And I pray that this helps someone out there to understand. I'm just sharing. I'm excited. I thank God. I really do. You know, when I look at where I come from, who I was before, it's only by the grace of God. It's only by the grace of God. You know, sometimes I think that people look at people and say, hey, they grew up, they were born like, God had favor on them since. Yeah, he had favor, but listen, the me that I am now is it was produced from God. It was born out of God, which means I had to learn to submit myself to him. And in marriage, you're going to learn submission. In marriage, you got to learn submission. If you are single and you're not ready to submit, I wouldn't go down that road just yet. If you desire to be married and you're not willing to submit to what? If you are a woman, you called to submit to your husband, and your husband is called to submit to God. You're called to submit to God too, but you're both called to submit to God. But called to submit to the God of Him. And if you're not ready to submit, and you still talking this 50-50 stuff, I know I'm probably gonna throw some people off right now because I ain't got time to go down this road. So you got to understand that God is the author and the finisher of marriage. So let him process you. Let him do what he's calling you to do. And you won't go wrong. Nothing will go wrong. If you allow yourself to love God, you're going to love your wife as yourself. If you learn to love God, you're going to love your husband as yourself. Allow yourself to love God first and watch. Just watch. You will meet the expectations. You will see the grace gather the marriage together. Hey, I love y'all and I'm excited. Stay tuned. I'm going to do more on marriage and relationships and for singles. Pastor, love you. Take care.